What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to this week's episode of Joannaland. I'm so excited to welcome you to this week's episode because we are here in Charlottesville, Virginia. I am dog sitting, and where we are is the inspiration for the theme of today's video, and where we are is also the same place that inspired me to relaunch the YouTube. I recorded a whole video on this exact same day at almost the exact same time in basically this exact same location. I was on the hammock when I recorded it, and I'm going to share it on the YouTube tomorrow, but today's podcast episode has to do with that and like with the location and where I am, because we are here exactly the day, literally to the literal day, almost to the hour, exact same place a year ago. But I am not in the exact same place. That is what is the wildest part of this whole entire situation. And that is what we are talking about today, because I want to talk to you about the importance of reflection, and I want to talk to you about the importance of transformation and pushing the edge of your own existence, shall we say. When I say the importance of reflection, what I am talking about is that, like, I come on here and share my wisdom from my life. I come on here and share my experience. Half the time, I don't even know what the freaking frack I'm talking about. I don't even know sometimes why I'm even talking about it. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, will anybody care? But I share my experience so that I can share what I've gleaned from my own experience and my own wisdom. But the reality is that you have your own wisdom. You have your own lived experience. You have your own understanding of the world. But if we are not taking time to sit and reflect on ourselves, our lives, all of it, then we're never going to uncover the gems and the wisdom and the lessons that can be learned from the life and the experience that we do have. We either aren't actually getting it, or we're getting it from outside sources. And we need to take time, more than we think we need to be in silence, to shut out the noise of the world. Right now, I am going through a no scroll September, and it is really pushing my edge right now. Not only am I challenging myself to this YouTube, but I'm also challenging myself to not scroll, and it is pushing my edge so fiercely, but it is causing me to have so much more time for contemplation and space for myself, and understanding and reflection time for myself. Because this brings me to the point of this whole entire thing, is like, I love coming back to the same places over and over again. Not super consistently, but like every other year. Like, this one's a bit of a novelty, but I'm back here at the exact same time that I was last year. And when I sit here and I actually reflect, and boy, have I had time to reflect over this last year in my no scrolling. But it's like, when I sit here and I actually reflect on the transformation that has occurred and what has gone down in my life in the last year, it's quite honestly, I guess, a little daunting if I were to know about it, but also it's amazing. It's amazing to me. It is amazing to me. It is amazing. And I don't know that I have deep, profound lessons other than the one that I'm about to share with you. But the thing is that there's still so much value in coming back. When you go back to those same places, you can be, not only are you reflecting on how the other place has evolved, but you can reflect on how you have evolved from the last time that you were there. It's like an actual marker for your progression and your evolution, because of how far you've matured since you were last there and how far you've evolved. Like, Mackinac Island, Michigan, for instance, is one of those other places for me. I've been going there since 2004, I think, 2005. And I've gone not every other year. There's been sporadic time in there. Recently, it's been kind of every other year, but we didn't go this year. And like, it's one of those places that always reminds me of how far I've progressed. One of the biggest markers within Mackinac was also seeing the decrease in the amount of alcohol that I was drinking over those years. Because also, the event that I was attending there was a open bar type event, and every single night they would have open bars, an open bar cocktail hour, and then we go out drinking afterwards. And like a lot of the time the pattern was blacking out, because that was the pattern that I was in. And like, I can see from my last trip from 2018, I guess it was the last time I went, to 2022. I don't even know. We went in 21, but that was not for that. But like the actual event, I can see a progression of a less and less alcohol had been taken over time, and less blacking out had happened over time. And that brings me to my next point of how we can really bring our transformation to the next level, and living at the edge of our evolution is one of the most profound ways that I've transformed my life over the last year. One of the ways that I blow my own mind, that I cannot even believe that it is true. Like yesterday, I guess today is 223 days without alcohol. I've had a few sips throughout there, like very minor sips, maybe 5 sips in total. But like every time I've had a sip, I haven't desired any more from it. And I took it away, not unlike the No Scroll September. I took alcohol away in February, and I just haven't reintroduced it. And if you were to tell last year Joanna that I am that far sober at this point in time, she would literally not believe you. I mean, actually at this point, September 5th, Joanna, 2023 would probably believe you, because she'd be like, wow, no, she actually needs to be doing that. And like, probably wish that it was happening even sooner, and probably knew that it needed to happen even before then, and is like also incredibly proud of herself. But without reflecting on 2023 Joanna at this point in time, in September 5th, 2023 Joanna versus September 5th, 2024 Joanna, it's like, you have to take the time and the space and the silence to actually allow for that contemplation, to allow for that reflection to come through. And in the realms of pushing the edge of our own existence, it's quite often on the edge of one of our very big vices. That's also why I'm giving up no scrolling, is because like, it is such a big vice for me, and it has grown to consume my life over the last year in that time also. And because I don't have a lot of friends, it's become kind of like my friend, I guess. And it's not a very good friend, let me tell you. Sometimes I just but it's one of those vices. It's that thing that I'm turning to, and alcohol was one of those things that I was turning to, because you will hear in the video, if you watch the video on YouTube, once it's dropped, you will hear me talking about how I coped with 2023 and everything that happened last year by drinking. And after that video, about a month after that video, there was one Friday night when I got wretchedly drunk by myself. Well, I had 2 drinks with my mother, and then we shared a half a bottle of Prosecco, and then I also had a high noon and a thing of tequila and something. And when I was basically drunk alone on a Friday night, that's when I was like, I need to make some changes. And that was in October, and it took me until February to actually have the wherewithal to truly let go of that vice in a way where it finally let go of it. And it was at that edge that I was able to meet myself. But in the letting go of the alcohol and the letting go of the scrolling, there's so much underneath the surface that the vice was really just submerging, that the vice was not allowing to be seen, that in letting go of alcohol came through, and in letting go of scrolling has already come through this week. I truly don't often find myself asking myself questions, like reflection questions like that. I ask myself questions quite often, but I'm not asking myself reflection questions. But in the case of reflecting on a year, for instance, I will start back at the very beginning and start back at September of 2023 and like progressively move throughout the year and what happened and get myself back to this point and see what occurred and like kind of reflect on the timeline piece by piece, and again all of those experiences, and then what lessons have happened and how can I take these into the future. Because if we're not aware of like how we've changed and how we've grown and what lessons we've really learned, then we can't take them into the future with us. So again, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I love you so much, and I will see you next time. If you have not already, like, subscribe, follow, do all of the things, because Joanna Land is just about to go plop